Part 25. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 242. The green axis mechanical keyboard made a continuous and beautiful sound, and Lin Feng's whole mind was immersed in the plot, and he forgot everything around him. Unknowingly, 2 hours later, Lin Feng stopped temporarily. Now he has typed more than 9,000 words, with an average speed of more than 4,500 words per hour. He had reached a speed of more than 5,000 words per hour before, but Lin Feng still felt that it was a little too fast. After reading the plot he just wrote, he was very satisfied. What he couldn't believe was that there was even a single typo. No. I just admire myself a little bit. It is already a person who has lost love for the second time, and there is no reason to always admire himself. A moment of thoughts brought Lin Feng back to reality from a holy state where he was not disturbed by reality. He had to face reality. He was an internet writer who had not yet become a god. The above wealth is far from a rich man. He is a person who has just lost his love. The woman he really wants to marry as his wife is no longer his girlfriend, and it is impossible to marry him in this life. A person only has a lifetime. Once missed, whether it is an opportunity or someone, it is a lifetime event. This loss is irreversible. Shang Yuna, you don't belong to me anymore, Lin Feng said in his heart, feeling down. Self-healing will always be very painful in the early stage, more painful than wiping a wound with alcohol. That kind of pain can make people lose their direction in an instant, making everything around them misty, like a rock climber halfway up, facing an icy cliff. Climbing up, it's hard, climbing down. Not reconciled, there is always the danger of falling. Suddenly I doubt the meaning of my existence, why I exist, and why I am here. Fortunately, Lin Feng has not been depressed enough to doubt his existence, he is only in temporary pain. His ideal is still there. His persistent heart is still red. Lin Feng stood up and sat on the sofa, lit a cigarette and started smoking. The smoke lingered, his thoughts were flying, and it basically had nothing to do with the plot of his novel. Fortunately, I just typed more than 9,000 words, otherwise it would be his current state. It was impossible to code a word. The phone rings. Lin Feng didn't realize it. When the bell rang to the end, he noticed that he grabbed the phone and the bell ended. Seeing that the caller ID was Wang Xiaoqian, Lin Feng felt a little more energetic. The schoolgirl in junior high school, the woman he had a crush on for a long time and then married Zhang Jian and then went to jail and divorced because of Zhang Jian, called him. The last time I went home for the Chinese New Year, Lin Feng didn't expect to have an affair with Wang Xiaoqian, but he really had an affair with Wang Xiaoqian, kissed her, and touched her. Almost took off his pants and froze. Lin Feng will not easily stumble upon Wang Xiaoqian, and although Wang Xiaoqian is very hot towards him, he will not easily let him stumble. After all, being stunned and kissing and touching are completely different realms. One needs to enter the body of the other, and then keep moving. Lin Feng called back Wang Xiaoqian's phone, she answered it quickly, and let out a frivolous and amorous laugh. Great writer, were you typing or pressing on a woman's body just now? Answer my call, believe it or not, that thing I pulled off you. Not cut, not bounced. Instead, it is smashed, fierce enough and wild enough, and it is more exciting than the attack of punching to the flesh. This is also Wang Xiaoqian's style. Zhang Jian's life imprisonment shocked her a lot, and her outlook on life has changed a lot. She has realized that madness should not be the subject of a person. But her basic style has not changed, she is still arrogant. At the beginning of man, arrogance. Good nature, but also arrogant. Lin Feng said with a smile, "Mad girl, you are provoking me again, you have said it several times, you are coming to Beijing to find me, when will you come?" Wang Xiaoqian said, "I want to go, but I am afraid that your girlfriend, the beautiful teacher Shang Yuna, will be jealous. If you break up with her because of me, How much of a sin will I have to bear? Lin Feng was silent. He didn't know what to say, and his heart was much more depressed than before. At this time, in Wang Xiaoqian's heart, Lin Feng still has a girlfriend. His girlfriend is very good. He is the #1 beauty teacher of Beijing Normal University. Wang Xiaoqian said, "What happened to you, boy? Did what I just said disgust you? If you feel sick, just think about my beautiful face and graceful body, so you will feel wonderful. Maybe in your heart, my face and figure of this junior high school flower are compared with your girlfriend, it's nothing at all, and I'm still a divorced woman." Sad reminder. The arrogant, she used the word sadness to herself, and it seemed that she was indeed very dissatisfied with the current situation of her life. Lin Feng said, "Shang Yuna and I have broken up." Now it was Wang Xiaoqian's turn to be silent. She didn't believe her ears. Some time ago, Lin Feng also said that he and Shang Yuna got along very well, sweet and romantic, and they even discussed the date of obtaining the certificate, so why did they suddenly break up? Wang Xiaoqian said that falling in love is easy, a person may have many chances to fall in love, but it is difficult to find a good marriage partner. From the standpoint of a friend, you are very suitable for marrying Shang Yuna. You have a wife who is like a flower and jade, has a diploma and cultivation, and has a local household registration in Beijing. How can you easily split with her? Lin Feng said that there are many advantages, but it is useless if they don't match the beat. If you get the points, you will get the points. There are many top quality women in this world, and there are many good things. They may not all belong to me, right? Wang Xiaoqian said, "You can't think like this. If you always think like this, what should belong to you will not belong to you. You should think about saving. Let Shang Yuna get back to her before she finds a new boyfriend. Come to your side. If some men are already approaching her side, you will drive those men away, and then let Shang Yuna come back to your side. If you are arrogant, you must be arrogant, and if you should be domineering, you must be domineering. If you need someone for a fight, I can take someone on the train to help you. This is too hard." Wang Xiaoqian even said that she would take someone on the train to help him fight. Lin Feng laughed. I have to say, his smile at this time was very frivolous. Even the mad Queen Xiaoqian felt that Lin Feng's laugh at this time was a little crazy. She said, "You are crazy, what I just said to you was from the bottom of my heart." Lin Feng said, "I have considered it comprehensively, and I will not save it, because it is meaningless. Besides, if I really need to fight, I don't need you to bring people over to help me. The people you brought here are not enough for me to fight for a few minutes, the people who should be fought. I cleaned up by myself." Wang Xiaoqian said, "You are very good at fighting. In fact, I met you again in that winter, and only then did I know that you were so good at fighting. I was stunned and admired you so much. But the great Kung Fu master, you really don't plan to save it? Are you really planning to give up such a good woman as Shang Yuna?" Lin Feng said, In this case, Wang Xiaoqian doesn't need to continue to persuade Lin Feng, and wants to talk about her. She said, "A few days ago, I went to visit the prison and saw Zhang Jian." Lin Feng said that he must have changed a lot now. Wang Xiaoqian said that he has become a prison tyrant, and even the person who can fight a lot more than he is afraid of him. His face is darkened, he is thinner, but his muscles are more developed, his eyes are more resolute, and he speaks. His tone became more rigid. He scolded me, saying that you are not married yet, are you waiting for death? Lin Feng said that prison is not a place to make people weak, and some people have embarked on the right path after being released from prison. Some people will be more ruthless than before after being released from prison. Thieves will become robbers, and robbers will become murderers. Everything depends on their own destiny, but prison is still very important, because some people have to be locked up. If there is no prison, it will be messy. It is very important to be a good person, but some people don't want to be a good person. Who knows what your Zhang Jian thinks? He mentioned your Zhang Jian just now, and Wang Xiaoqian did not object. Although Zhang Jian could not be released from prison for more than 10 years, in Wang Xiaoqian's heart, Zhang Jian was still hers. Zhang Jian cannot belong to others, only her. All the things that happened in the frivolous years are still in her heart. Although she has been divorced, Wang Xiaoqian still regards herself as Zhang Jian's woman. If the prison allows her, she will even go into the cell and sleep with Zhang Jian. When she was visiting the prison, she asked, "You kid must have done a lot of masturbation." At that time, Zhang Jian said, "Off, but now I have also learned to use a man's body to solve it. Don't forget, I'm a prison tyrant, and whoever wants to burst will burst." Wang Xiaoqian said, "Let's explode, but it's better not to get sick." Zhang Jian said, "What if I have AIDS?" Wang Xiaoqian said, "AIDS is AIDS. After you are released from prison, I will AIDS with you." If a woman is willing to let a man with AIDS not wear a condom on her, then she has already given her life to the man. Wang Xiaoqian's feelings for Zhang Jian have already reached this level. Lin Feng was shocked by Wang Xiaoqian's feelings for Zhang Jian. He was not feeling well at first, but now it is even more uncomfortable. Lin Feng said, "When can you stop being so too?" Wang Xiaoqian said, "I am the second, a very crazy second hand, I really want to find you, the second hand, welcome or not." Lin Feng said, "Come if you want, you can come anytime, and I will entertain you at any time. If you don't want to come, don't keep farting." Wang Xiaoqian said, "Your sister." Lin Feng said, "You are my sister." Wang Xiaoqian said, "I rely on you." Lin Feng said, "I rely on you." The conversation between the two ended on the sidelines, and Lin Feng almost didn't even have the strength to sit on the sofa, so he could only lie down on the bed. Tian Qingze called. Lin Feng did not expect Beauty Bamboo to call him at this time. A smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and he picked it up. "Qingze, are you looking for me?" "Brother Feng, are you in a better mood?" "It seems to be a little better." Lin Feng was still in a bad mood, but he didn't want Tian Qingze to worry about him. "Where can I go to you? Is something wrong?" "It's nothing, I just want to chat with you about novels. I've already started reading your book." "Then come." Lin Feng certainly hopes that Tian Qingze will read his book. His book has a righteous plot, an ambiguous plot, and a very lifelike plot. If Tian Qingze really reads it, he may be able to understand something. Beauty Bamboo is sober and innocent at the same time. Once this kind of girl gets into the horns, it is very scary, so Lin Feng hopes that Beauty Bamboo can become more mature and have a higher emotional intelligence. When Tian Qingze arrived, she didn't know how many times she washed her plain casual clothes. This outfit definitely didn't match her graceful body. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi Feng. Chapter 243. There are many boys in Beijing Normal University who feel bitter for Tian Qingze, because they feel that Tian Qingze is too pitiful. He has an outstanding figure but does not have good clothes to wear. If Tian Qingze made a post on the campus forum and asked people from Beijing Normal University, would anyone be willing to send me good clothes? It is estimated that she can receive hundreds of sets of clothes a day. But she wouldn't do this kind of thing. She didn't even want Lin Feng to give her money. She refused the money she should have gotten, and she wouldn't ask others to ask for good clothes to wear. As long as the clothes are clean enough, as long as the clothes can cover your body and ensure that it does not go out, it is enough. Lin Feng once again came up with the idea of sending Tian Qingze a set of skirts, but he needs to seriously communicate with Tian Qingze about this issue. It's better to do the preparatory work immediately, Lin Feng's face darkened, which brought a lot of pressure to Tian Qingzu. When he got to the master bedroom, Lin Feng's face was cold, and he said angrily, "Sit down, I'll make tea for you." Where can Tian Qingzu dare to sit, wondering, "Brother Feng, did I come to make you very unhappy? If I'm annoying you, I'm leaving now." "Sit down, I have something to tell you." "Oh." Tian Qingzu's round buttocks fell on the sofa, and she felt very uneasy. She came here to comfort Lin Feng and make him feel better, and did not want to make Lin Feng angry. She was even more unclear as to where Lin Feng was offended. Lin Feng brought tea over, sat beside Tian Qingzu, and said coldly, "I ask you, how do I usually treat you?" "Very well, you and Sister Nan are very good to me. Although we haven't known each other for a long time, I already regard you two as my good friends." "You're a little hypocritical." "Brother Feng, you are not allowed to say that about me. I am not hypocritical at all, and I have never been hypocritical to anyone." "Woohoo!" Beauty Bamboo cried. The soft body kept shaking, the full chest was shaking, and the intoxicating aroma seemed to diffuse. "It smells good." But she was sad. Lin Feng said, "You keep saying when I am a good friend. But you're a little too outside of me, and that makes me uncomfortable." "Is it very foreign? If I don't think you are a good friend, why would I come to find you? I have never taken the initiative to find other boys. It seems that you really don't know me very well. Since you want to be a good friend, it is very necessary for you to understand me and take care of my emotions." "You mean? You are very sad now. I shouldn't come to disturb you. Then I'll just leave. Do you need to be so angry?" The beautiful Bamboo is also angry, and her anger is very characteristic. Lin Feng smiled relievedly, "You misunderstood. What I'm saying is, I want to give you a dress, why don't you?" Bamboo, a beauty with a high IQ and an average EQ, still remembered it, and she also showed a relieved smile. "Brother Feng, you scared me just now, I understand now. You just walked around in such a big circle just to give me a dress." Was exposed by the beautiful Bamboo. What else can Lin Feng say? He said, "Well, I admit, I really want to give you a dress, and I hope you can accept it. I didn't do it to please you, not to chase you, just to want you, my good friend. Dress nicely." Tian Qingzu was very moved. Tears floated in her beautiful eyes, and she said silently for a moment, "Okay, then you can buy me a skirt, don't be too revealing, oh. Just buy a dress." "No problem." Before Beauty Bamboo arrived, Lin Feng was very depressed, but at this time, Beauty Bamboo agreed to accept the skirt he sent, and he was very excited. "Brother Feng, I found that your novel is well written, and full of connotation. As for the plot, although I haven't read much, I found that the plot you wrote is very subtle." If she hadn't heard her say it herself, if she had seen these words in a message, Lin Feng would have even regarded it as a panacea. What Tian Qingzu said to him would not be a panacea, but a heartfelt evaluation. "Thank you for your affirmation. Thank you for this. You are already very good. Oh, you can code, I want to see you code." "Go buy a skirt," Lin Feng said. "Not in a hurry. Better buy early." Lin Feng stood up, and Tian Qingzu could only stand up, showing a bright smile at Lin Feng, and his voice was even sweeter, "Then I will accept it with a smile." When they arrived at Minjiao City together, Lin Feng spent more than 2,000 yuan to buy a high-end fashion dress for Tian Qingzu. The color is a bit plain, and people who can understand can easily see that the skirt is very classy. When Tian Qingzu tried it on, Lin Feng found that when she put on this dress, she immediately had the temperament of a world-famous model. If a girl is in good shape, she is great. Wherever she goes, it will be a beautiful scenery. No matter whether a person's ability is high or low, he will basically have an aesthetic vision. After walking out of Minjiao City, Tian Qingzu's face was crimson, and she could never feel at ease. She whispered, "This skirt is too expensive. Actually, buying a set of 200 or 300 is good enough for me." "Then you are wrong. You have such a good figure, not to mention a skirt of more than 2,000 yuan. Even a skirt of more than 20,000 yuan is not good enough to wear on your body. Are there such expensive skirts? More than that, in fact, there are more than 30,000 pieces of skirts in Minjiao City, but we didn't go shopping." Lin Feng smiled and said, "If you often browse the internet for information about luxury goods, you will find that there are even luxury goods in this world. Millions or even millions of dresses exist, and in order to increase the value of the dresses, many diamonds are placed on them. It's too extravagant. What's the use of a woman wearing such an expensive dress? It's better to save the money and donate it to the school in Qiaoshan town." In this romantic atmosphere, Tian Qingzu can think of the school in Qiaoshan town by talking about skirts, which makes Lin Feng very anxious. Not often, but never forgotten. Could it be that Tian Qingzu doesn't want to make an engine, but just wants to repair a car? Lin Feng said, "Qingzu, I know you have a lot of affection for Qiaoshan town, but you can't always think about that place, right? You should think more about your life. Your parents have done what should be done. Suffering should not be hereditary." Tian Qingzu smiled. Lin Feng actually mentioned hereditary just now. "It's not that serious," she said. Lin Feng said, "In fact, it is very serious. Your parents have suffered, and you will continue to suffer. If you go back, it is estimated that your future children will not be much better and will continue to suffer. Then it was hereditary. What is the logic?" Tian Qingzu wanted to refute, but after thinking about it seriously, he began to think that Lin Feng's words made sense. If she goes back, her descendants will live in poor and backward mountainous areas when they are young, and get very little compared to children in big cities. There is less exposure. I can suffer, worthy of the backing town, worthy of the mother in heaven, but my descendants have no reason to continue to suffer in that place." Tian Qingzu raised her pink fist and hit Lin Feng's arm, and soon felt that the action just now was too ambiguous, and her face was crimson. He said softly, "Brother Feng, are we thinking too far? I'm not married yet, and I don't even have a boyfriend, but you even mentioned my descendants. Lin Feng said that some issues involve your life and must be considered in the long run. Sooner or later, you will get married, and sooner or later you will have children of your own. What is your environment like? What is your child's environment like? Why did those educated youths in the last century want to go back to big cities after the liberalization of policies, even if they have a family in a mountain village and have flesh and blood? Are you willing to abandon everything and run away? The reason is very simple: the environment is different, the quality of life is different. They're all selfish. You are selfless. In fact, I also have selfish moments, such as when lying in bed, I always think, if I can stay in Beijing to work after graduation, it would be great. Even if I don't have much money, I enjoy many public facilities that are not available in the mountains, and many things. I stand on the street and watch, and I don't charge money." Very candid. So cute. The crowd was crowded around, but Lin Feng wanted to hug Tian Qingzu and kiss her. That kind of strong urge appeared in an instant and disappeared in an instant. Lin Feng said, "It's time to eat, there is a Hala mountain over there, I invite you to eat barbecue." My roommates have eaten Hala mountain. They were at that time. I had no money and didn't participate. After they came back, they talked for a long time in front of me. They said that it was delicious, but it was expensive. I invite you. Brother Feng, your money is not easy to come by. You type it out word by word. You spent more than 2,000 for me just now. Let's find a restaurant to eat casually. Sometimes, it's easier for me to get money. You see, Meng Jiwei gave me a lot of money just for that dog thing. It's definitely not bad for a meal of Hala Mountain barbecue. After Lin Feng's repeated insistence, Tian Qingzu decided to eat Halazan barbecue with him. Tasty. It cost hundreds of dollars. Tian Qingzu's eyes were also opened. After knowing what happened to Hala Mountain barbecue, she was very grateful to Lin Feng. She could no longer express her feelings by simply thanking her. She began to think about how to repay Lin Feng. Except for her parents, no one had ever treated her so well before, which made her feel happy and made her feel uneasy. Night. Lin Feng wrote in his master bedroom, while Dainan and Tian Qingzu stayed at Fengnan Fashion Store. Today, there are not too many customers and not too many, and the turnover is basically acceptable. At this time, there was no one in the store. Sitting next to Dainan, Tian Qingzu was thinking about how to repay Lin Feng's question. Lin Feng was too kind to her, and she wanted to be nicer to Lin Feng. Tian Qingzu whispered, "Sister Nan, tell you something." Dainan smiled and said, "Looking at your mysterious appearance, you don't have a boyfriend, do you?" "Who is it?" Tian Qingzu's beautiful face immediately turned red. "No, I don't have a boyfriend yet. What I want to say is not this, but Brother Feng. Could it be that Lin Feng ate Bell Bamboo's tofu, which made her so shy?" Dainan's interest immediately came, smiled and said, "Lin Feng, what did he do to you?" "It's not what he did to me, but he gave me a dress, which is very expensive, more than 2,000. It turned out to be so." Dainan was not surprised at all. She said, "In fact, more than 2,000 dresses are not particularly high-end, they can only be said to be passable. Lin Feng, he also has this ability now, you can accept it with peace of mind, and wear it tomorrow, beautiful a bit. I had never worn a skirt on campus before, and if I did, it would probably be teased by a lot of people. It's not a joke, it's an admiration. You are the school flower of Beijing Normal University. You are walking on campus wearing a beautiful dress. How could anyone make fun of you? Absolutely no one will make fun of it. But causing a strong sensation is inevitable. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 244. Even though the beauty zoo is usually very simple and frugal to the point of chilling, the topic of her has never stopped. Many people admire her, many people envy her, and some people are jealous of her. Soon after entering school, Miazu has become a beautiful scenery of Beijing Normal University. Boys with money and background have hid her ideas, some teachers have hid her ideas, and bosses outside the school have hid her ideas. She only wanted to finish her studies successfully. At the same time, she wanted to work to make money and protect herself. Her heart was always tired. Jealousy and slander are often linked. In the past, a certain girl told the people around Tian Qingzu that Tian Qingzu was taken care of by that man just because Tian Qingzu and a man in a suit were getting closer. The man is the boss of a company in Shangdi. Later, it turned out that Tian Qingzu and the man didn't know each other at all, and they just walked a little closer on the road. As for whether the man was the boss of a company over there in Shangdi, there was no way to know. Actually, there is another problem that I'm very worried about. I'm afraid some people will think that I was taken care of, and the dress on my body was bought by the man who took care of me. My body is very clean, and I live a good life. It's clean. What I'm most afraid of is that others will misunderstand this. You worry too much, Dainan said. I didn't think too much about it. Some people think so. I'm absolutely sure that when I wear this dress on the campus of Beijing Normal University, There will be many people talking about me. Any slander without basis will be self-defeating. You just need to understand what's going on. Let others say what they want to say. Many celebrities are unable to stop others when they are on the cusp of public opinion. Mouth, you don't need to care about these things. If you care too much, your footsteps will be restrained. Dinan said in his heart, Beauty Bamboo, you are so pitiful, you are even more pitiful than me. Fortunately, you wear a skirt, there are so many problems. Dinan's eloquence was not so good before. Since becoming good friends with Lin Feng, she has experienced Lin Feng's eloquence many times, and Lin Feng's eloquence is as good as his literary talent. Gradually, under the influence of Lin Feng, Dinan's eloquence has also improved a lot, and her words just now are quite effective. Tian Qingzu made up his mind and showed a bright smile, then I will wear it tomorrow. You must wear it, otherwise you will be sorry for Lin Feng's kindness towards you. Dinan finally couldn't help but say something, but just now she almost said her kindness was sincere, if what she said was sincere. It is not ruled out that Tian Qingzu will return the high-end dress to Lin Feng. Then Dinan's is about to suffer, and Lin Feng will give him a piece of bruise. In the case of impulsiveness, Lin Feng will touch Dinan's butt, and in the case of anger, his slap will also fall on Dinan's butt. His interaction with Dinan is very casual, although he has not been stupefied before, it is already very casual. Randomness is a state. Casual is also a kind of enjoyment. Maybe the relationship between Lin Feng and Dinan will continue at will. A special friendship can last for many years. The shop is closed today, with a turnover of more than 1,200. As long as it exceeds 1,000, Dinan is more satisfied. Until the store closed, Lin Feng didn't come. Dinan and Tian Qingzu both guessed in their hearts what Lin Feng was doing in his master bedroom, whether he was hurting his mind or writing words. Dinan accompanied Tian Qingzu on the campus of Beijing Normal University, and many girls in gorgeous clothes passed by the two of them. Dinan kept saying, "Look at how beautiful that girl's clothes are. Look at the two girls over there, they are all wearing beautiful skirts, oh, that one is even hotter, and they are almost showing. I really don't understand. Why did that girl dress like that just now? Isn't she just wearing clothes to cover her body? Her skirt is too short, it's a little windy, or the steps are bigger, small, the pants are really showing." Tian Qingzu was embarrassed to mention the trousers. When she was chatting with people, the words she said were relatively literary, and she would not use particularly vulgar words. A woman's trousers cover the most mysterious part of a woman and cannot be seen by outsiders. Therefore, Tian Qingzu believes that pants should not be mentioned casually when chatting. But her roommate is different. One of the girls especially likes to use vulgar words. What I rely on and my day is commonplace, and other words with strong original ecological flavor will be said. Every time he heard that roommate speak, Tian Qingzu would frown gently, and would also say in his heart, "Why are you like this? I can't speak well. The dress Lin Feng gave you will definitely not go out. If you point it upwards, it will be double layered. No one will see your trousers, and even the traces are hard to see." Dai Nangzhen said that even if they didn't see any traces of your pants, they believed that you must be wearing them. Tian Qingzu blushed. In fact, she was already imagining how wonderful she would look when she was walking on campus in a dress. Very nice. She quickly thought that the dress was given to her by Lin Feng. She had not yet figured out how to repay Lin Feng. She said again in her heart, "Brother Feng, thank you." But Dainan mentioned the pants just now, and Tian Qingzu was a little resentful about this. In fact, Tian Qingzu's bust photos and pants are very few, and they are not high-end goods, but she washes very frequently and pays great attention to personal hygiene. Tian Qingzu likes to live cleanly. Lying on the bed is clean, and walking on the road is clean. Master bedroom. Lin Feng was typing on the keyboard in a frantic state, and when he heard the knock on the door, he knew it was Dinan. He quickly typed out the sentence he just thought of, and then walked over to open the door. Beautiful face, graceful figure, bright smile. Lin Feng saw the hotness and smelled the scent of lily perfume. He was calm when he wrote the words just now, but his body instantly stood up. Dinan walked in, sat on the sofa and raised Erlang's legs. The slender legs were even more irritating, making people want to take off her pants and explore the mystery of her legs. Lin Feng had previously explored the mystery of Dinan's slender legs, and every time he took the mentality of a researcher and tasted it very seriously. But he always felt that it was not enough. He wanted to explore again at this time, and his hand fell on Dinan's thigh. Gently stroking, but it brought strong stimulation to Dinan. Dinan's Erlang's legs were put down. The moment she put down her legs just now, she felt that her were a little wet. Lin Feng, you have stimulated me again. I don't know how many times I've been provoked by you. Your stimulation has made my orientation normal, and I no longer like to play the absurd game of homosexuality. Your stimulation makes my wet heart rip, and I always fantasize about what it would be like to do that with a man. I only have you in my heart, I really want to be with you, but I can't be your girlfriend. Dinan smiled and said, you are fine, I finally persuaded the beautiful Bamboo to accept the dress you sent. It's not easy, and I don't know if she will wear it. Anyway, the skirt has been given to her. It's her business to wear it or not. I can't take off her pants and let her put on the skirt. Don't be too evil, can you? You even thought about taking the trousers of Beauty Bamboo? Forget it, you and Yun-Na broke up anyway, why don't you let Beauty Bamboo be your girlfriend, she hasn't been in love yet? I don't even know what happened to the man. You just let her enjoy it? Don't be kidding, how can I let Miazu be my girlfriend? I have graduated, she is still studying, I and she are not on the same track, and besides, Miazu will not be my daughter. My friend, I won't set her up even more, let's make the friendship between each other purer, we need something pure in our lives. Are you young? Wenqing is not a disease. Lin Feng suddenly discovered that the sentence he just said was the online nickname of his beauty editor-in-chief Ai Wen. Lin Feng has not contacted Ai Wen for a while. Ai Wen has never contacted him. I don't know what the company thinks of his book now. The effect is getting better and better. When will the price increase? If there is a possibility of a price increase, there will be news within half a month. If there is no news in the near future, I am afraid it will only be possible to raise prices until winter. Of course, Lin Feng hopes to raise the price as soon as possible, and the more he raises, the better, but his own thoughts cannot influence the company's decision. If he is a person who is not calm, I am afraid that I have asked Ai Wen many times. He has not asked much. I wonder if Ai Wen will think that he is a very calm person and admire him in his heart. What are you thinking? Are you really thinking about the beauty of Bamboo's body? You're wrong, I'm not thinking about the beauty of Bamboo's body, I'm thinking about your body. Lin Feng hugged Dinan's delicate body tightly, and said, I don't think there is anyone more suitable to be my girlfriend than you. For my sake, what I need is a woman like you. In the past, when Lin Feng and Shang Yuna were still boyfriend and girlfriend, he thought that it would be great if Shang Yuna treated him like Dinan, and he would be very happy. It is a pity that Shang Yuna and Dinan are completely two types of people, with different experiences, different living conditions, and even different attitudes towards him. The only thing they have in common is that they are all beautiful and their bodies are very hot. Lin Feng originally wanted to train Shang Yuna, step by step to train Shang Yuna into the kind of woman he wanted the most, but it didn't work, and ended up breaking up. This also let Lin Feng know that it is very difficult for one person to train another person. Everyone has their own thoughts, and when others try to make this person change, this person will have a kind of rebellion in his heart. Who are you? Why should you change me? I am me, you stand aside, and then talk nonsense with you. Dinan was frightened by what Lin Feng said just now. It was a very warm thing for her to be in Lin Feng's arms, but now she was extremely panicked and struggled hard. Is Dinan angry? There seemed to be no anger, but she burst out with a power that made Lin Feng a little scared. Release, please, release me. During the struggle, Dinan's tears flowed out, and he kept begging Lin Feng to let go of her, but Lin Feng could only let go. He didn't touch Dinan's sensitive parts just now, and he didn't even touch her chest photo. It is estimated that the words just stimulated her. Dinan gradually calmed down, and after wiping away her tears, her eyes gradually changed. When run, she smiled and said, Lin Feng, you are too flattering. Do you really think I am qualified to be your girlfriend? I don't think I am qualified. You have. I don't. With all the things I've done before, I'm not qualified to be your girlfriend. I'm not worthy of you. I've said it before, I don't care about what you've done before. Didn't you just do the lead dance at the Mengfi Yang disco? Didn't you just play the love game with Zhao Fei? It's nothing. What I like is the present you and the future you, Lin Feng said. Dinan was very moved, but she was not impulsive. Lin Feng, my good friend, stop talking. I won't be your girlfriend. You always do this. I'm afraid we can't even be ordinary friends. The two of us are in good shape now. I see. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 245. After the intense conversation just now, Lin Feng's heart suddenly felt a lot empty, as if someone had put his hand into his body and pulled out something. That feeling is very different from ordinary pain, but easier to remember. Lin Feng understands Dinan's state of mind even more. Maybe Dinan will be his lover in the future, but he will never be his girlfriend. Maybe Dinan can't even be his lover, just be an ordinary friend, and it's okay to play some simple ambiguous things, but it's not okay to be stunned. Dinan said, I'm going to bed. Think about it seriously. The most effective way to ease the pain of a relationship is to start a new relationship. Tian Qingzhu and Xia Kaiki are in front of you. Oh, there is also Wang Wei, it's that beautiful college classmate of yours. Lin Feng smiled and didn't say anything. Dinan also smiled at him and walked out. First of all, Lin Feng didn't want to start a relationship right away, and secondly, even if he really wanted to start a relationship, Tian Qingzhu and Xia Kaiki were not considered, but he would consider Wang Wei. But Wang Wei just wants to be a very strong friend with him, and does not want to develop into a boyfriend and girlfriend with him. Wang Wei's mood is somewhat similar to Dinan, but there are also essential differences. Wang Wei didn't feel that he was unworthy of him, and even thought that he was more than enough. The reason why she didn't become his girlfriend was because, if she also became his girlfriend, then there were two girls in their dormitory who did his girlfriend. There were only 4 people in the dormitory, half of them were Lin Feng's girlfriends, and half of them were stupefied by him. This unscientific. There are many unscientific things in this world, and this is not the root of the problem. What Wang Wei is most afraid of is that she can't even be friends if she fails to fall in love. Lin Feng has been very kind to her, and has been very kind since her college days. She cared too much about Lin Feng as a friend, so she didn't dare to go further with him. Before Dinan came in, Lin Feng's code was in a crazy state, but now, he is no longer in that state. He thought of watching a movie, and also thought of sleeping in bed. In the end, Lin Feng chose to watch a movie. What he watched was not a romance movie, but a kung fu action movie directed by Yu Song. It was so interesting, but he was watching the movie at the same time. Think of something else. A new day is a new beginning. Surprising things may happen, or depressing things may happen. The sun is still the sun, but what happens to everyone is constantly changing. In fact, the sun is also changing, but people only like the sun, but rarely think about it. Days are changing. Tian Qingzu put on the dress Lin Feng gave her, which was very noble and atmospheric. As soon as she walked out of the dormitory building, it attracted the attention of many people. In an instant, more than a dozen girls looked at Tian Qingzu. They were so surprised that they even forgot to walk and stood there in different postures, showing different expressions. Wow! Incredible, even the beautiful bamboo is wearing a skirt. Really, this is the first time I see our schoolgirl wearing a skirt, but the skirt runs out of the wind, she is not afraid of disappearing. It's so beautiful. This dress is very high-end. It fits perfectly on the beautiful bamboo. I don't know if she bought it herself or someone gave it to her. Guess how much this dress costs? At least it's more than 2,000. How could Meizu buy the dress costing more than 2,000 yuan by herself? Her living expenses are only a few hundred yuan a month, and Meizu is notoriously poor at school. It must be given to her by a man, but I don't know what the relationship between the man who gave her the skirt and her is. In the chaotic discussion, Tian Qingzu's footsteps were fast, but there were people everywhere on the campus. Where did she go? Where others are talking. The beautiful bamboo was surrounded by thousands of eyes. Beauty bamboo was surrounded by thousands of discussions. The reason is very simple, because she has never worn a skirt before, but she is wearing a skirt today. In fact, the seemingly simple reasons are also very complicated. After all, she has never done this before, but she did it today. Beauty bamboo's face was hot, but she didn't know how red her face was. She originally wanted to study by herself in the classroom, but even if she sat in the classroom, there would still be many people watching her, and there would still be many people talking about her. She could only grab the 2 books and walked out of the gate of the campus. Not far away was Fengnan Fashion Store. Driven by inertia, she arrived at Fengnan Fashion Store. Dainan was introducing something to the 2 customers, when he heard footsteps and looked back. It was Tian Qingzu in a dress and holding 2 books. Gorgeous. So atmospheric. Graceful, charming, and pure as water. A well-deserved school flower. Dainan continued to marvel in his heart, and soon looked at the 2 customers again, but the 2 customers were no longer looking at the goods in the store, and their eyes had already fallen on Tian Qingzu. One of them said, "Hey, Beauty Bamboo, you've finally put on a dress. It's been almost 3 years. This is the first time. This dress is very high-end and it fits you well, but did you buy it?" Another said, "Qingzu, you are so beautiful, your figure is so good, if my beauty can be 1/3 of yours, that would be great." Tian Qingzu didn't know what to say, and with her face flushed, she could only turn around and walk out. Beauty Bamboo is angry. It doesn't seem to be angry, just shy. Let's go out and talk to her. The 2 girls who had planned to buy silver earrings and a head flower just walked out. Their attention was attracted by Tian Qingzu and they forgot to shop. Dainan was very depressed, because the things that should have been sold were not sold, but she did not blame Tian Qingzu, but was a little worried about her. Tian Qingzu walked forward. The 2 girls who were going to shop just now really caught up with her. One of them was shouting, "Qingzu, wait a minute." Tian Qingzu's footsteps did not stop until the 2 girls rushed in front of her, blocking the way in front of her. "What are you 2 thinking? I'm just wearing a skirt?" There are a lot of girls wearing skirts on campus. But they are not the school beauties, you are the school beauties. So what? You are beautiful. Let me go, I want to be quiet for a while. Tian Qingzu was about to cry. The 2 girls didn't have any malicious intentions, they were just too curious to see Tian Qingzu's tears coming out. Not being aggressive anymore, one of them said sorry and left together. Tian Qingzu's heart was beating wildly. Wearing this high-end dress, she didn't know where to go. She couldn't take her natural steps. She can't go where she wants to go. Can she live a normal life only by wearing those clothes that have been washed countless times and are about to be washed out? Tian Qingzu's tears finally flowed out, and when the crystal tears swayed on her beautiful face, she really thought about where to go. She is going to find Lin Feng. Master bedroom. Lin Feng was already up, but he hadn't washed up yet. Sitting on the sofa in a daze, he had already smoked a cigarette, but he also forgot what he thought when he smoked. Very empty. Very chaotic. He wanted to run out, but he didn't know where to run. He wanted to contact someone, but he didn't know who to contact. This feeling should be the supreme state of helplessness, and I heard a knock on the door. Only then did Lin Feng understand what he should do, that is, get up and open the door. The door opened. The beauty in front of him almost blinded him. It was Tian Qingzu, who was wearing a dress with 2 books in his hand. How to describe the scenery in front of him could only be described as beautiful. Lin Feng was stunned for a few seconds, and then smiled. "Qingzu. You are here, come in quickly." Tian Qingzu walked in. His footsteps were very slow, and his round buttocks twisted very little, but the fragrance of his skin diffused. What Lin Feng saw was a beautiful face, a towering chest and a graceful figure, and he was surrounded by the scent of the skin that could easily make people intoxicated. Tian Qingzu sat on the sofa, put the 2 books beside him, pondered for a moment, and said coldly, "Lin Feng. Come here." The beautiful bamboo is not called Brother Feng, but Lin Feng. Lin Feng felt that something was wrong, and it might be that the skirt caused trouble for Tian Qingzu. He walked over with a light smile on his face. "Qingzu, what's wrong? What happened?" Tian Qingzu said, "Let me hit you a few times first. Then tell you." "No problem, hit it, hit as many times as you want." Lin Feng predicts that Ding Tian Qingzu won't hurt him. Even if it hurts him, it's fine. Lin Feng is in a lot of pain now. If someone beats him, maybe he will feel better. He feels that he is in a bad state at this time. Lin Feng stood by her side. Instead of looking at her face, he looked straight ahead, like a wooden stake. Bang bang bang. Tian Qingzu's pink fists landed on Lin Feng's back and arms for more than 10 consecutive times. It was very hard. When she hit Lin Feng, her body was shaking, and her towering chest was also shaking. On 2 occasions, her towering chest almost touched Lin Feng's arm. Lin Feng hoped that Beauty Bamboo's chest would touch his arm, so that he could feel a softness. Lin Feng also didn't want Beauty Bamboo's chest to touch his arm, because he didn't want to be too embarrassed. "I blame you." The beautiful bamboo cried, and the crystal tears began to meander on the delicate face again. "Did you get offended by wearing this dress? Many people looked at me, and many people talked about me. I wanted to go to the classroom to read, but I didn't dare to go. I walked out of the school gate, but there were still people chasing me and asking." Tian Qingzu was so excited that she was so choked up that she couldn't speak any longer. Lin Feng asked her to sit on the sofa and stabilize her emotions first. After more than 10 minutes, Tian Qingzu's mood finally stabilized a little. She felt that she should not have punched Lin Feng so much just now. Even if she was very depressed, it would be fine to simply punch 2 punches, but she actually punched Lin Feng more than 10 times. "Brother Feng, I hit you just now, do you hurt?" Tian Qingzu called out Brother Feng again, and Lin Feng felt very comfortable listening to it. "It doesn't hurt, don't forget, I'm a Kung Fu master. I've practiced Kung Fu for so many years before, and I have a very strong fighting ability. You don't know any Kung Fu at all, and you don't have much strength. You hit me with 100 punches, and I won't. It will hurt." "It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt." "That's good." Tian Qingze quickly told him the performance of those people in the school in detail. Lin Feng expected that Tian Qingze wearing this skirt would cause a sensation, but he did not expect that the sensation would be so strong. After a moment of silence, he laughed, "Qingze, you should feel proud. Among the more than 30,000 people in Beijing Normal University, only you can cause such a strong sensation." Tian Qingze said, "Is this good? I don't like this. I prefer others to look at me with calm eyes. Don't talk about me casually. I'm very uncomfortable now, more uncomfortable than being sick." Lin Feng said, "What are you going to do then?" Tian Qingze said, "Take off this skirt, give it back to you, and don't wear it again." Lin Feng said, "Take it off. You go out first, I take off my skirt and you come in. I think you're really dizzy. I don't have any suitable clothes for you to change into here. If you take off your skirt, you will only be left with underwear, and I will see your white skin and bumpy lines. Do you want to? You rascal, you are not a good thing, I will kill you." Tian Qingze's pink fist landed on Lin Feng's body again, but this time it wasn't a dozen or so punches like a violent storm. After 3 punches, her hand stopped. After breathing for a while, she said, "I'm sorry, Brother Feng, I shouldn't have said that you are not a good person, but you are actually a good person. Oh, no, you are actually a good person, I shouldn't hit you again, you can hit me too." Leaving aside that Lin Feng was not angry, even if Lin Feng was really angry, he would not hit Tian Qingze even if he punched the wall twice. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 246. Lin Feng said, "I know your heart is very sad, but all this is caused by your mentality. Let me tell you, there are many girls in Beijing Normal University who want to cause such a sensation, but it is difficult for them to cause any sensation, even if it is rumored. The scandal won't last for many days. If you cause such a sensation, it proves that you are good. I'm dying of depression, but it's fine. Have you ever thought that if you take off this dress and don't wear it again, people in the school will still talk about you, and the topic will become, where's that high-end dress of Beauty Bamboo? Why doesn't she wear it anymore? Then those people will still guess who gave you that dress, and from the moment you take it off and don't wear it, it becomes even more mysterious. This situation analyzed by Lin Feng is very likely to occur. I can't wear it, I can't wear it, Tian Qingze really doesn't know what to do. Brother Feng, why did you have to give me a skirt? Tian Qingze threw himself into Lin Feng's arms violently, and his towering chest immediately pressed against Lin Feng's body. Melt. Warm. With a fragrant fragrance. The flying beauty made Lin Feng feel at ease, but he couldn't push Tian Qingze away, he could only hug her gently. A few minutes later, Tian Qingze, who was crying, realized that this was a hug, and she was hugging Lin Feng. At that moment, she pushed Lin Feng away, her chest heaved violently, and panted for a moment, "I'm sorry, Brother Feng, I was too excited just now." "It's okay. Brother Feng, you are coding every day, you are thinking about the plot every day, can you tell me? What should I do? I don't want so many people talking about me. Keep it up and make a modest change from now on. They talked about you this time, and they won't talk about you all the time. Is that okay?" Beauty Bamboo was very puzzled. "Certainly, Brother Feng won't hurt you. What Brother Feng said is for your consideration. Not only do you have to wear this skirt, you also have to have more good clothes. More good clothes, but I need money. I don't have any money. I don't even have enough money to eat." Beauty Bamboo was in pain. "You don't have money, but I have money. I can continue to buy you clothes. You want to take care of me?" Beauty Bamboo was puzzled. "Who said it? Lin Feng was simply frightened. He never said that he wanted to take care of Tian Qingzu. Even if it was a joke, he would not say such words easily. I guess, you want to bribe me first and soften me up. Then just pounce like a hungry wolf. Qingzu, if you think so, it is a big mistake. Whether you like this skirt or not, you can go out now. Lin Feng's face was ashen. He was not angry just now, but he is really angry now. Tian Qingzu laughed. At this time, her smile was full of style and unrestrained. Lin Feng had never seen Tian Qingzu so unrestrained before. Beauty bamboo is not stimulated to make a problem, right? Lin Feng said, Qingzu, don't scare me. Tian Qingzu said, I said it on purpose just now, just to see your reaction. I fully understand that you don't have that kind of intention for me, you just want me to live a better life. I can't believe it, why can't I wear a nice dress? Not only do I want to wear it, I also want to wear this skirt to the feminine fashion store as a shopping guide. This is what Lin Feng wants. Tian Qingzu has passed the hurdle in her heart, which will be very beneficial to her in the future. If not so many people stimulated her. If it wasn't for his persuasion just now, it wouldn't have had this effect. Lin Feng admired himself a bit, but he also knew that the reason why so many people in Beijing Normal University stimulated Tian Qingzu was the main reason, and his persuasion was the second. Just now, I had been arguing with the beautiful bamboo for almost an hour, and the beautiful bamboo was crying, laughing, and beating him, which made him toss and get excited. When Lin Feng was excited, sometimes he wanted to stand in a daze with women, sometimes he wanted to practice kung fu, and sometimes he wanted to code words. At this time, he can only code words. He opened the document. Tian Qingzu stood beside him, looked at his document obsessively, and smiled. Brother Feng, you have to code, or I will leave first. I am afraid it will affect you. Where are you going? I'm going to the store. Tian Qingzu still didn't have the courage to walk into the campus of Beijing Normal University, let alone sit in the classroom for self-study. That hurdle in the heart is over, but there is another hurdle in behavior. Lin Feng felt that Tian Qingzu's behavior still needed him to push him to pass. Tian Qingzu was like someone who was parachuting for the first time. He decided to skydive in his heart, but he didn't dare to jump when he stood at the hatch of the plane. As long as he pushed, Tian Qingzu had to jump. After jumping down, she will fly freely. When the parachute is opened, she will dance in the air like a beautiful flower. After landing safely, her mentality will change. After skydiving, she will have nothing to do with it. Fear. Now Tian Qingzu is afraid of things that have never been seen before. She not only needs to overcome this fear, but also needs to constantly accept new things. Lin Feng stared at his novel document, frowned slightly and said, there must be a lot of people in the school who suspect that you are being taken care of by a big boss, right? There are many people who doubt this. I will accompany you to walk around the campus of Beijing Normal University. We don't have to be too ambiguous, we just need to chat a little bit, and then those people will understand that I bought the dress you are wearing, and you have not been harassed. People take care of. In this case, they will not suspect that I am being taken care of by others, but they will suspect that I am being taken care of by you. I'm an unmarried man, I don't even have a girlfriend now, even if we are a little bit ambiguous, even if I buy you a dress, even if I give you money, it can't be regarded as a foster care, it can only be regarded as a normal relationship. It seemed reasonable, but she still felt a little awkward. The problem is, we haven't started that kind of relationship again, and I don't want to be too ambiguous with you. I just want to be good friends with you. You are my brother Feng. You are a person worthy of my trust. Isn't it just to gag other people's mouths? We just don't do anything. Let me think about it. Beauty Bamboo couldn't make a decision for a while, which was a bit too shocking to her. She had never encountered such a thing before, and had never done it before. In the past, several boys offered to impersonate her boyfriend in order to get close to her by protecting her. In order to get close to her, several other boys proposed to study together at night, but they all asked her to deny it. Whoever wants to eat her tofu, she will deny anyone. Linfeng's proposal just now seems to have this kind of taste, although Linfeng did not clearly say that he was posing as her boyfriend, but he walked beside her. A very hot chat will evoke a lot of associations from other people. Linfeng has already started typing on the keyboard, and the speed is very fast. In less than 10 minutes, he wrote 1,000 words, with an average speed of more than 100 words per minute. Brother Feng. You type really fast. Average. It's fast enough, I can only type 50 words a minute, and I don't usually play with the computer. Do you want to log in to your chat number? Linfeng said with a smile. Will it affect you? It doesn't matter, Linfeng said. Then log into my chat account. The level is very low. It has only been a month since I used it for a long time, and there are very few netizens. Linfeng logged into Tian Qingzu's chat account, and her online name was Qingzu. But for people who don't know her, it's hard to think of her name as Qingzu just through her online name, and even think that since her online name is Qingzu, then her real name is definitely not Qingzu. There are very few netizens, only 12, of which 8 are her classmates in middle school, and 3 are her roommates. There is only one real netizen who has never met, and you can tell it is a man by looking at the net name. The net name is Xian Tian. Tian Qingzu said, I don't know who this person whose online name is Yu Xiantian is. He always sends me messages, but I haven't talked to him much. Linfeng said, it is estimated that he wants to get close to you by chatting. Just ignore him. Tian Qingzu said, I also think so, I won't let a man approach me easily, this is very dangerous to me, so far, you are the man who has walked closest to me. Linfeng said, I will not harm you. He said in his heart, even if I hurt myself, I won't hurt you. When I'm angry, even if I slap my face on my face, I won't fall on your face. I really want to spank you, at most it's a spanking. But your is the beautiful bamboo's ass, how can I touch it easily? Brother Feng, hurry up and type. I think you are very enjoyable to type. It's a pity that I can only write some essays, not novels. If you want to learn, I can teach you. Your brother Feng, I can still guide you. After you learn it, you can write some novels in your spare time while teaching at Beijing Normal University. Linfeng deliberately mentioned teaching at Beijing Normal University, in order to call Tian Qingzu again, you shouldn't go back to Qiaoshan town, you should choose to stay in school, not everyone will have such a good opportunity. Tian Qingzu understood what Linfeng meant. She struggled with this question for a long time, but she still hadn't figured it out yet. At this moment, she was not in the mood to think about that. Her face was very warm, her eyes were warm, and there was a faint smile on the corner of her mouth, and she didn't say anything. Linfeng started to code. If Tian Qingzu didn't want to see him code, he would not want to code. At this time, he wanted to sit on the sofa and chat with Tian Qingzu while smoking and drinking tea. By the time of lunch, under the watchful eyes of Tian Qingzu's beautiful eyes, he typed more than 8,000 characters out. I admired myself a little in my heart. Linfeng smiled and said, it's time to go to dinner, I'll treat you. You have invited me many times, how about I invite you this time? I can't afford it, but it's okay for me to invite Brother Feng to a bowl of noodles. Brother Feng, if you refuse, you will look down on me. Okay, you invite me to eat noodles, but I really want to eat the knife-cut noodles from the third cafeteria of Beijing Normal University. You did it on purpose. You can think that I did it on purpose. Anyway, I have already planned to accompany you to the campus for a walk at lunch. There are many people on the campus and in the cafeteria. It's so scary. Don't be afraid. I'm afraid. Beauty Zhu is very naughty and cute, which made Lin Feng want to kiss her beautiful face, but he couldn't bear it, for fear of scaring Beauty Zhu. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 247. We walked together on the street, not far from the overpass. Tian Qing's face was rosy, but this state was much better than in the morning. Lin Feng walking by her side gave her a sense of security. The reason why she had such a wonderful feeling was not because Lin Feng was a master of Kung Fu, but because Lin Feng had no bad intentions towards her. If it is a person who has bad intentions for her, the higher the Kung Fu, the more dangerous it is, because it is very easy for a man with a high Kung Fu to go to the overlord to force a woman. Walking on the overpass, Tian Qing's footsteps stopped, and Lin Feng's footsteps also stopped, holding the railing together to watch the scenery. Tian Qingzu said, "Did you really give up Teacher Shang completely?" Lin Feng said, "Gave up." Tian Qingzu said, "If you go to save, if you are sincere, you can still play with her." Lin Feng said, "I don't want to do that. Even if we are together, we will share it sooner or later. Until the day we get the certificate, she and I are not the same." He said in his heart, even if Shang Yuna and I really got the certificate, we might get divorced because of certain things in the future. Shang Yuna is a woman who can't rub the sand in her eyes, and she wants to hold the man tightly in her hand. Tian Qingzu said, "How can we judge whether it is a traveler?" It sounds simple yet profound. Lin Feng couldn't explain this question clearly. He said that if it is suitable, it is a member of the road, and if it is not suitable, it is not a member of the road. Tian Qingzu said that those people who have been quarreling all their lives but have spent their whole lives together are not the same people. Lin Feng said that he was not in the same group, but he was crowded together. Usually, he suffered most, but when he was old, he might think of pain as happiness, but he had suffered all the sins he deserved. It's too poignant to count on that little memory. Tian Qingzu said, "Brother Feng, you have a good level." Lin Feng said, "I have the level of a bird." The words just now were just casually talked about, almost like nonsense. Tian Qingzu's red lips pursed, and after a while, he said angrily, "Don't make a fool in front of me casually, and don't talk nonsense in front of me casually. Okay, remember, I won't talk to you casually in the future. I won't talk nonsense to you casually. But you just mentioned it again. It didn't count just now. Well, let's go quickly, otherwise there will be more and more people in the cafeteria, and there will be no place for us." Lin Feng quickened his pace, and Tian Qingzu's pace quickened too. Wearing this very classy dress, she looked elegant and graceful to the extreme, and the rate of turning heads was very high. "Who is that girl? She seems familiar, like a model, but I forgot her name." "How can it be a model? Do you think models will easily appear on this street? She's so beautiful, much more beautiful than many first-line idol stars. The real beauties are in the folk. That man is so beautiful, with such a beautiful girlfriend, I'm afraid he won't be able to sleep without a brace one night." Some people misunderstood that Tian Qingzu was Lin Feng's girlfriend, and even mentioned it twice. Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu are just ordinary friends. Lin Feng didn't even touch Tian Qingzu's chest, but Tian Qingzu's towering chest once squeezed his body in a hug. He felt soft at the time. At that time he smelled an aroma. At that time, his body was a little floating, and his thing was very straight. Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu walked into the campus of Beijing Normal University, and the sensation was coming. This moment. Lin Feng is like a warrior, Tian Qingzu is like a distressed bird. Thousands of pairs of eyes looked at the two of them, I am afraid that Lu Tianwang and a certain Bing Bing are coming, and the sensational effect has also come down. Beauty Bamboo appears again in that fancy dress. Those who were more attentive found that the two books in the hands of the beautiful Bamboo were missing. The beautiful Bamboo turned out to be walking with Lin Feng, the boyfriend of the beautiful teacher Shang Yuna. What plane are you doing? Up to now, people at Beijing Normal University still don't know that Lin Feng and Shang Yuna have broken up, but some people who love gossip have discovered that Lin Feng and Shang Yuna haven't been on campus together for a long time. My God, the beautiful Bamboo can't be so crazy, right? She actually stole the boyfriend of the beautiful teacher Shang Yuna. It's very possible that teacher Shang and Lin Feng haven't been together for a long time. It is estimated that they have already broken up. The reason for the breakup is the love of the beautiful Bamboo. Beautiful Bamboo has learned to be a third party, and has become a third party who has successfully cultivated. This world is too crazy. The situation is more serious than Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu imagined, and the two of them have already heard the discussion about the third party. Tian Qingzu's legs were weak, and he didn't even have the strength to walk, and he could fall to the ground at any time. Under the gaze of thousands of scorching eyes, if Tian Qingzu fell, a new gossip would spread. Lin Feng played on the spot and did something he didn't intend to do. He actually took Tian Qingzu into his arms in front of so many people. Tian Qingzu glanced at Lin Feng's face in shock, breathed for a moment, and walked forward along with Lin Feng's footsteps. Lin Feng hugged her tightly, almost leading her forward. Ambiguous enough. Affectionate enough. The beautiful teacher Shang Yuna's boyfriend Lin Feng already belongs to Tian Qingzu. The most beautiful female teacher lost to the most beautiful female student. It's really interesting. I'm afraid Shang Yuna won't be arrogant in the future. Beauty Bamboo, you are so sharp. Hearing someone calling her sharp, Tian Qingzu wanted to curse, but she no longer had the strength to curse. Even if she had the strength, she would cry a lot before she started to curse. The three cafeterias are crowded, and the food here is good and cheap, attracting many people who don't have much living expenses. Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu finally found their place. There were people in front and back, left and right. Those people were not in the mood to eat at all, and they were all looking at Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu. If Lin Feng is a person with weaker psychological quality, he may collapse at any time, but he is all right. Even if he is watched by these people for 10 days and a half months, he will not collapse. It is estimated that those who watch them will follow them in batches. Crashed. Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu began to eat noodles. Lin Feng seemed to be enjoying the meal, but Tian Qingzu seemed to have no strength to grasp chopsticks, and he ate less than 3 noodles in more than 10 minutes. How can this work? It's a sin to starve Beauty Bamboo. Lin Feng instantly felt that he should be more sturdy. He is an online writer in the new era, and no matter how tough he is, it is the norm. Qingzu, I feed you. When Tian Qingzu began to wonder what Lin Feng said just now, Lin Feng had already picked up a mouthful of noodles and handed it to her mouth. To eat or not to eat? The time to test her has come again. Everyone around is looking forward to it. Will Tian Qingzu's red lips open, will he eat the noodles handed by Lin Feng, and then swallow it into his stomach? A miracle happened. Beauty Bamboo opened her red lips, ate the noodles that Lin Feng handed over, sucked and swallowed into her stomach. This is not only her material food. It was still her spiritual food, and the whole 3 cafeterias went crazy because Tian Qingzu ate a mouthful of noodles. Someone mourned. Someone was astonished. Someone whistled. Some people also shouted in coaxing. Some of them also shouted resentfully, what is it, they actually feed the beautiful Bamboo to eat noodles. Lin Feng's hearing is very good. He heard someone scolding him in the chaotic voice, and that person was a few meters away from him. But that didn't stop him from beating the man up. At that moment, Lin Feng got up and went through it. The people around hadn't reacted to what was going on. Lin Feng's right foot had already kicked the man's stomach. The burly boy with a height of about 185 flew up in an instant, fell 3 meters away, and howled while covering his stomach. After another sigh, the surroundings suddenly became quiet. The people who were watching the excitement just now began to slowly walk out of the cafeteria. Tian Qingzu didn't hear what the tall boy said just now, and he didn't know why Lin Feng ran over and kicked him. Lin Feng took another bite of noodles and handed them over. She could only continue to eat noodles. She had no choice but to cooperate with Lin Feng. Although she was weak, Tian Qingzu was full, because Lin Feng had been feeding her, and she kept opening her mouth. Qingzu, we should go. Oh. The moment Tian Qingzu stood up, Lin Feng hugged her again. Go to the door of the dining hall together. Under the gazes of everyone, Lin Feng walked out of the gate of Beijing Normal University with Tian Qingzu in his arms. Brother Feng, stop, I'm a little dizzy. Lin Feng thought he didn't hear it, and his footsteps didn't stop. He knew very well that once he stopped, Tian Qingzu, who had already been strongly stimulated, would immediately faint, and when passers-by saw it, he would spread out even more outrageous gossip. The storm can be a little more violent, but it is not a good thing to cross the sea. Lin Feng even thought that when the night comes, the campus forum of Beijing Normal University is full of posts about him and Tian Qingzu. There is no suspense in vaping. Stepping onto the familiar flyover again, Tian Qingzu said in a soft voice, Brother Feng, please, stop and take a break, I can't walk at all. Lin Feng didn't say anything, he directly hugged Tian Qingzu and continued to walk forward. Following his footsteps, Tian Qingzu's graceful body trembled slightly. Her face was rosy and her eyes were moist. Everything that happened today was something she never thought of, and it never appeared in her dreams. Lin Feng's figure was imprinted in her eyes, and everything Lin Feng had done was imprinted in her heart. Lin Feng's physical fitness is very good, even if he walks a few miles with Tian Qingzu in his arms, there is no problem. The overpass is very close to the community where he lives, and it will arrive soon. Going up the stairs, opening the door, and finally entering Lin Feng's master bedroom, he put Tian Qingzu on the soft bed. Beauty Bamboo's breathing was uneven, her eyes were dazed, and after a while, she finally fainted. This skirt really messed up the beautiful Bamboo. Lin Feng felt very guilty. To put it bluntly, he tossed the beautiful Bamboo. If he hadn't insisted on buying a skirt for the beautiful Bamboo, there would be nothing in the future. Lin Feng lit a cigarette and took 2 puffs. Under the stimulation of nicotine, he once again thought about this question that he had already thought about several times. This effect is not a bad thing for Miyazu. Lin Feng didn't do anything to the fainted Beauty Bamboo, he knew that Beauty Bamboo would wake up by herself soon. Tian Qingzu woke up very quickly, and Lin Feng, who was still smoking, heard the sound of crying, so he looked at her. If you want to cry, cry out all your previous bitterness and pain. Tian Qingzu burst into tears, her cry was miserable, and the tears fell from her delicate cheeks like rain. Lin Feng's hands were shaking while holding the cigarette. Gradually, his eyes became moist. He hoped that the beautiful Bamboo could see everything more openly after crying. Tian Qingzu cried for more than half an hour, her cry gradually subsided, and she got out of bed and walked towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng doesn't know what Tian Qingzu wants to do. At this moment, no matter what Tian Qingzu does to him, he can accept it. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 248. Tian Qingzu stood beside Lin Feng, looked at his face with a very special look, and said in a slightly ethereal voice after a while, Brother Feng, if I go crazy with you, will you be angry? Lin Feng didn't know what way Tian Qingzu wanted to drive him crazy, maybe it was an ambiguous way, Maybe it was a punching and kicking way, but what was certain was that Tian Qingzu wouldn't grab a knife and stab him in the stomach. Tian Qingzu is kind, his kindness is very real, there is no impurity in it, she refuses to do anything cruel. Tian Qingzu was in great pain and needed to vent. If the pain in her heart could not be vented, she might become seriously ill. Thinking of this, Lin Feng smiled and said, "You can go crazy at me, no matter what you do to me, I will not be angry." He has already thought about it, even if Tian Qingzu really goes crazy in an ambiguous way, he will cooperate. Hot kisses are okay. Touching is fine. But what Tian Qingzu chose was not the ambiguous way, but the way of fists and feet. Standardly speaking, it was her fists. She didn't lift her slender legs to kick Lin Feng, but the two pink fists kept falling on Lin Feng's body. She yelled while hitting you, hitting you, hitting you. Her fist landed on Lin Feng's arm, on the back, and even punched his stomach a few times. Lin Feng has almost become Tian Qingzu's sandbag. She has never been to the gym before, played on the treadmill, practiced yoga, and never waved her fists at the sandbag. This time, she was very addicted to Lin Feng's body. Her forehead was dripping with sweat, and the corners of her eyes were her tears. Tian Qingzu was almost tired. She sat beside Lin Feng and took a breath before saying, "Brother Feng. I'm sorry, I hurt you just now." "It doesn't hurt." "Does it not hurt at all?" "It doesn't hurt at all." Lin Feng's smile was brighter than before. At this time, his heart was bitter. The reason why he showed such a sunny smile was to make Tian Qingzu look brighter after seeing his smile. Tian Qingzu stared at Lin Feng's face for a while. She looked away and said, "Brother Feng, you are so kind to me. I have been thinking about how to repay you, but I can't think of a suitable way." Lin Feng said with a smile, "I treat every friend very well. Since you are a friend, you should be treated well, and you don't need to repay." Tian Qingzu said, "But I can't get past the hurdle in my heart, I just want to repay you. Apart from my parents, you are the best person to me." Lin Feng was a little flustered, because in Tian Qingzu's heart, his weight was too heavy. He lit a cigarette and let the smoke drift freely. Soon, both his and Tian Qingzu's bodies were surrounded by the smoke. Tian Qingzu said, "I'm a little tired, can I lean on you?" Lin Feng said, "Come on." Tian Qingzu leaned on Lin Feng's shoulder, feeling very secure, but also flustered, because she knew very well that this was an ambiguity. She was indeed tired. First, her heart was tired, and then it took a lot of physical strength to beat Lin Feng's body, leaning on Lin Feng's shoulders. She was half asleep and half awake. Lin Feng felt that in this case, even if he took Tian Qingzu into his arms, she would not resist, if he put his hand on Tian Qingzu's chest. Maybe Tian Qingzu will remove his hand, maybe not. But Lin Feng sat there motionless, not even making any sound, not even Tian Qingzu fell asleep leaning on his shoulder. After more than half an hour, Tian Qingzu's body straightened up, and when she looked at Lin Feng's face, her eyes were a little flustered, because she thought the behavior just now was a bit ambiguous, so she looked a little nervous, but it was okay. 2 minutes later, he showed a light smile. Tian Qingzu's smile is very beautiful, like a flower that has just bloomed. Flowers need watering, but Lin Feng can't easily water Tian Qingzu. If it rains, he also needs to hold an umbrella for Tian Qingzu. Gradually, her smile disappeared, and her beautiful face was quiet with melancholy. She said, "I had a dream just now, do you believe it?" Lin Feng said, "I believe. What did you dream of?" Tian Qingzu said, "I dreamed of my mother. In my dream, I saw her walking towards me in a very outdated set of clothes. She was smiling at me. She also said, 'Come back, my daughter.'" Lin Feng's heart was even more chaotic. He must show a very appropriate attitude now, and he quickly sneered. At this time, his smile was cold, his face was also cold, and even his eyes were cold. Tian Qingzu said, "What happened to you?" Lin Feng said that your dream just now was an illusion. Your mother made such a great contribution during her lifetime. She will go to heaven, and all people in heaven wear silk and satin, so she will no longer want to wear the same clothes as when she was alive. The old clothes are old. If she is alive, she will definitely hope that you can stay in the big city. You are her daughter. She will definitely want you to enjoy happiness instead of suffering. Your parents have done it, and your parents have suffered as well. There are many people in Huaxia, and it is someone else's turn. You don't have to continue. Tian Qingzu was silent. It would be a bit too heavy to continue talking about this topic, but if she continued to talk about the disturbance caused by the dress, she would be entangled again. Tian Qingzu said, "Let's watch a movie." Lin Feng said, "What style of movie do you want to watch?" Tian Qingzu said, "Whatever. Some movies are ambiguous, some are iron-blooded, and some are funny." If it was ambiguous, the atmosphere would be more beautiful, but Lin Feng quickly dismissed the idea, otherwise Tian Qingzu would easily misunderstand his intentions. Watching jagged blood is a bit too thrilling and not suitable for Tian Qingzu's state of mind at this time. In the end, Lin Feng said, "Let's watch it as funny." Tian Qingzu said excitedly, "Okay, let's watch Zhou Xingqi's. He has a lot of old movies that are very classic, but I basically haven't watched them, just heard of them. Stephen Chow's films are indeed very funny. There is no doubt about the level of a generation of comedians, but his films will be somewhat ambiguous, but it's nothing. Ambiguity is indispensable in life. As long as people walk on the road, they will experience ambiguous. Even monks in deep mountain monasteries may see women bathing in the river." Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu began to watch Zhou Xingqi's old films, all of which Lin Feng had seen. With Tian Qingzu accompanying him, he was very engaged in watching them. Tian Qingzu is very happy. From time to time, she laughed a few times, and whenever she laughed, her towering chest would tremble slightly. I haven't eaten much good food, but Tian Qingzu's body has developed too well. Many girls at Beijing Normal University have wondered, they think Tian Qingzu should be malnourished and often faint. But why is she developing so well? Her are plump, her legs are slender, and her skin is delicate. Hormones were flying. Lin Feng didn't deliberately look at Tian Qingzu's chest, but whenever Tian Qingzu's chest trembled, he could notice that his eyes didn't listen to him a little bit, which was a wonderful state. Dark night. It was already past 9 o'clock in the evening, and Tian Qingzu was still watching the movie with Lin Feng, eating KFC takeout. "Oh!" Tian Qingzu screamed. It wasn't that Lin Feng touched her sensitive part, but she just remembered. It's been a while, she should go to Fengnan fashion store as a shopping guide. Tian Qingzu tangled and said that he was late. Lin Feng said with a smile, "It doesn't matter, you don't have to go tonight, the salary will be calculated." Tian Qingzu said, "That can't be done, I have to go, and continue to watch Zhou Xingqi's films together another day." Lin Feng said, "I will go with you." Tian Qingzu said, "If you don't code, you have been delayed for a long time just now. I'm a little sorry." Lin Feng said, "It doesn't matter, I have the manuscript. It just so happened that I wanted to relax too. I'm already the person who has lost love for the second time. Don't I need to relax?" Went down the street together. It's not as hot as it is during the day, but the rolling heat waves are still rolling in the air, and the warm wind blows from time to time, making people feel instantly comfortable. Walking by Lin Feng's side, Tian Qingzu's footsteps are very graceful, and the rate of return is still very high. Men are jealous, women are envious. Few people would associate the beautiful woman in front of them with a small town surrounded by mountains. People who didn't know the situation would most likely associate her with the golden branches and jade leaves of the metropolis when they saw her. That girl is so beautiful. That dress on her must be expensive. Someone is talking about Tianqing's skirt again. If this dress is worn on other girls, it probably won't cause much sensation. There are too many women in Beijing wearing high-end clothes. The reason for such a sensation is that Tianqingzu is so beautiful and has a delicate figure. Fortunately, Tianqingzu didn't hear the discussion just now, otherwise it would add some kind of pressure to her. When Lin Feng and Tianqingzu arrived, Dainan was sitting beside the cash register, saw the two of them, smiled, and said, "There are so many people tonight, but not many people buy goods." Lin Feng said that they probably all came to see Qingzu, but Qingzu was not in the store, so they all left. Tianqingzu was a little embarrassed. Just as he was about to say something, 6 girls and 2 boys walked in. One of them said that he didn't know if Tianqingzu was here. The girl seemed to want to say something else, but when she saw Tianqingzu, she immediately shut up, and soon laughed again. "Qingzu, you are so beautiful. This skirt is so suitable for you. No matter what others say, I support you in wearing a skirt. Your figure is so good, you should wear a beautiful skirt. We need to buy a bag." Tianqingzu met a supporter, and the supporter wanted to buy a bag. Tianqingzu's face was crimson, smiled and said, "Okay, come here, I will introduce to you. Recently there are many new bags in the store, many styles. Oh, this bag is very suitable for you. Also, this bag is suitable for you. You can see this bag, it is also very good. It's really amazing." Lin Feng and Dainan couldn't believe it, but everything in front of them was what really happened. 6 girls and 2 boys all bought bags. In less than 20 minutes, Tianqingzu sold 8 bags, totaling more than 1,000 yuan. The turnover of the store was only over 800 just now, and it was almost 2,000 in an instant, and the profit ratio was quite high. Soon another group of people came, both women and men, all of them came to see Tianqingzu under the guise of buying things. Because Tianqingzu had never worn a skirt on campus before, they were all worried that they would wear it today. Due to some kind of pressure, Tianqingzu stopped wearing a skirt, and they didn't want to miss this spectacle. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi Feng. Chapter 249. It was time to close, but there were still a few people in the store. Lin Feng and Dainan looked at each other, reached a consensus with their eyes, and decided to extend the business hours. After half an hour, the store was finally cleaned up. Today's turnover actually exceeded 3,000, which was the highest day since the store opened. Dainan was so happy that he was about to faint, and Lin Feng was also very happy, but his heart was not at all easy, and there were still many things that he had to deal with. Even if the store's turnover exceeded 10,000 today, he would not be happy. Where to go? The roller shutter of Fengnan fashion store was locked, and Lin Feng said, "Qingzu, Dainan and I will take you back to the dormitory." Tianqingzu whispered, "I don't want to go back tonight." She quickly looked at Dainan again and said with a smile, "Sister Nan, I will sleep with you tonight, okay?" Dainan was very happy, "No problem." Lin Feng didn't think there was anything, even if Tianqingzu's face was extremely beautiful and her body was extremely graceful, he would no longer evoke Dainan's thoughts about love affairs. Maybe the bodies of the two beauties would touch each other, but it's not ambiguous, but normal contact, like two beauties rubbing each other's backs while taking a bath together. Lin Feng returned to his master bedroom, and Tianqingzu went to Dainan's partition room. Dainan wanted to ask Tianqingzu what you did with Lin Feng in the afternoon and evening, but she was afraid that Tianqingzu would misunderstand, so she said, "My partition room is not as spacious as Lin Feng's master bedroom." She wanted to use this to bring up the topic of Tianqingzu, maybe this way Tianqingzu would talk about the topic she really wanted to ask but couldn't ask. Tianqingzu smiled and said, "Yes, Your partition room is much smaller than his master bedroom, but it's nothing. I believe that Sister Nan will become richer and richer in the future. In the future, I will have my own house in Beijing. At that time, I will be a guest, and you will cook delicious food for me. Dinan's graceful body twisted slightly and said with a smile. If there is such a day, you are welcome to be a guest every day. Tian Qingzu said in his heart, when that day comes, I don't even know if I'm still in Beijing or not. Thinking of this, she felt sad. Dinan didn't hear what she wanted to hear the most, and that curiosity lingered in her heart all the time. She said again, did Lin Feng bully you? Tian Qingzu said, no, Brother Feng has never bullied me, he has been protecting me, and I am very grateful to him. Oh, in the afternoon and evening, Brother Feng and I chatted first, and then watched Zhou Xingqi's films together. We watched all old films. Others have watched them many times, but I have never watched them before. It was just chatting and watching movies. Estimated ambiguous nowhere to go. Dinan is already thinking about the feasibility of Tian Qingzu being Lin Feng's girlfriend. So she hopes that Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu will be ambiguous, from hugging to kissing, from kissing to stroking the chest, and then extending to the level of small pants. The thought seems to be a little evil. Dinan smiled slightly. Do you want to take a bath? Let's take a bath together. Okay, but I didn't bring anything for the bath, so I can only use yours. It does not matter. Dinan and Tian Qingzu went to the bathroom together, and Tian Qingzu immediately saw the hole in the frosted glass, as if it was burned by a cigarette butt. Then pasted with toothpaste and stick tape on it. Dinan said with a relieved smile, don't look at that, I didn't know which obscene thing burned out before. Some people said that it was the people in this house, and some people said that the people who lived upstairs came in when the door was open. It's hot. But it's nothing, we take a shower, and no one will peek. Tian Qingzu's heart was still a little uneasy. She wondered, do you think that wretched guy saw anything? Dinan said that he should have seen it. It is estimated that he heard the sound of taking a bath, so he burned a hole. I don't know which unlucky woman was seen, but the two of us will not be so unlucky. Tian Qingzu was obviously more nervous than before. Dinan smiled at her with relief and began to undress. Soon, Dinan's upper body was naked, a large area of fresh skin was exposed, and his towering chest was rippling in front of Tian Qingzu. Soon he took off his harem pants and his shorts again, exposing his entire body to Tian Qingzu. Tian Qingzu said, Sister Nan, your figure is awesome. Dinan said, compared with you, it is a little worse. Tian Qingzu said, no, in fact, your figure is better than mine. I'm not just saying that because of humility, what I'm saying is true. In fact, Dinan also weighed it in his heart, and felt that her figure was not worse than Tian Qingzu's. Dinan said with a smile, I'm going to release the water. If you still don't take it off, the water in the nozzle will wet your skirt. Tian Qingzu cherished the skirt that Lin Feng gave her. She just wore it for a day, and she didn't want to wash it right away, and she didn't want to get wet with the bath water, so she quickly said, I'll take it off too, Sister Nan, don't let the water go. Tian Qingzu quickly took off his skirt, exposing a large piece of snow-white skin in front of Dinan. After taking off the bust photo, the towering chest was also exposed, and the skin was high-fat, delicate and soft. Dinan said in his heart, fortunately, I am not anymore, otherwise I would have to be stimulated by you to drive me crazy. If I was still in that state, I would not rule out that I would put you on the bow. At that time, the electric rod would buzz. Non-stop. Dinan quickly thought again that if she was a man, if she had that thing, she would be hardened immediately. But nothing, she is not now, let alone a man, she is a delicate woman. Tian Qingzu took off his trousers, and the wet part appeared in front of Dinan. The outline was very intoxicating. Dinan almost commented on Tian Qingzu's wetness, But Tian Qingzu is a thin-skinned girl, no matter what she said about the wetness, she would be embarrassed. Gentle water was sprayed from the nozzle. Dainan and Tian Qingzu started to take a bath. The foam of the bath liquid was rippling and fluttering in the water, and the two beauties chatted while laughing. Lin Feng knocked on the door of Dainan's room, but there was no response. He pushed it and the door was locked. He immediately realized that Dainan and Tian Qingzu were taking a bath. Will someone peek? Lin Feng had never met anyone who peeked, but the idea immediately popped into his mind. He walked over quickly. The length of the corridor was very short, but he heard different sounds coming from different partition rooms. Some rooms were watching that kind of movie, and some rooms were stunned. Among them, the men and women in the room near the bathroom are the most liked, and they do it almost every day. Lin Feng has heard the shouting from that room dozens of times. The woman shouted like a dissatisfied cat. As for the appearance, very general, a little fat. No one peeked. But when Lin Feng walked to the edge of the bathroom, both Dainan and Tian Qingzu heard footsteps. Tian Qingzu said, "Someone." Dainan said, "Nothing, even if someone walks back and forth outside, they can't see anything." Tian Qingzu said, "Will someone secretly install a camera here?" Dainan said, "No, the landlord checked it, and Lin Feng also checked it." There is indeed no camera in the bathroom, but Tian Qingzu's worry is not unnecessary. Lin Feng is not afraid of being peeked at, but he will check it carefully every time he takes a shower to see if any evil person has a camera in it. Discovered, it must be a violent repair. After taking a shower together, they came out. Dainan and Tian Qingzu were wet. They were both wondering, who was walking outside the bathroom just now. The security door of this house is closed, and I didn't hear the sound of opening the door just now. It must be someone from this house. Tian Qingzu said, "Could it be Brother Feng?" Dainan said, "It is possible, maybe he can't find the two of us, so he will come and have a look." Tian Qingzu didn't think about Lin Feng Chao crookedly. He felt very warm in his heart. He said in his heart, "Brother Feng, you are so kind to me. It's very happy to be your friend." When they arrived at Dainan's partition room together, Dainan put on a night dress. Tian Qingzu didn't have a night dress, so he could only wear a dress. Dainan said, "I went to Lin Feng's room to have a look and asked him if it was him just now." Tian Qingzu said, "I will go with you." Dainan had no objection, and the two beauties walked out of the room together. At this time, Lin Feng was already typing, and he came over to open the door when he heard the knock. "Don't be too hot." Lin Feng was immediately stimulated. The undulating body, the intoxicating aroma, and the moist smell instantly brought him into a state of ecstasy. Fortunately, Lin Feng's eyes were still calm, otherwise it would not be a good thing for Tian Qingzu to see the heat in it. Dainan and Tian Qingzu walked in. Dainan said, "When Qingzu and I were taking a shower, I heard someone walking outside the bathroom. Is that you?" "This is nothing to hide." Lin Feng had no evil intentions. He said, "It was me. I knocked on your door and there was no one in the room. I went to check to see if you and Qingzu were taking a bath." Dainan said, "It's nothing if it's you. When I was taking a bath just now, Qingzu was always afraid that someone would peek at it. She saw the hole in the frosted glass, so she was very scared." Lin Feng said with a smile, "I don't know who made the hole, but according to my observation, the people who live in this house, whether they are single or in pairs, do not have the habit of voyeurism, otherwise they would have been long ago. Was discovered by me." Tian Qingzu's warm eyes fell on Lin Feng's face, and he said sweetly, "Brother Feng, you are really a careful person." Lin Feng smiled, "I have a lot of free time. When I have nothing to do, I wander around. In this house, I am a policeman." Tian Qingzu showed a sweet smile. Dainan also smiled. She was very hot. Lin Feng was stimulated by the sweetness and hotness. His body was tall and straight, but he was completely able to bear it. Tian Qingzu walked over to the computer, first stood looking at it, then bowed his body, and finally sat down on Lin Feng's chair. She was reading Lin Feng's novel document, very devoted. Almost 10 minutes passed, and she was still sitting in the chair to read. Lin Feng and Dainan chatted casually, but Dainan kept thinking about whether she should go out first and leave the space for Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu. Seeing that Tian Qingzu didn't want to stand up for a while, Dainan waved to Lin Feng gently, his hips swayed a few times, and then he opened the door and walked out. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 250. Tian Qingzu was so immersed in the plot of Lin Feng's novel that he didn't even hear Dainan's voice when he opened the door and walked out. Lin Feng stood beside her, her face was crimson, looked at Lin Feng's face and said, "Brother Feng, write your words." Lin Feng said, "It's okay, you can continue watching." Tian Qingzu stood up, said with a smile, "Please write the words," and then started looking for Dainan. The room was not very big, but she looked around several times. "Sister Nan has already gone out." "Just got out." "Oh, really? I didn't notice it, sorry, then I'll go too," Tian Qingzu said. "It's okay, you can continue to read my code." "Can I?" "Can." Lin Feng's thinking is very smooth, he has already started typing on the keyboard. Tian Qingzu is very embarrassed, but Lin Feng's code is very attractive to her. She simply moved a chair and sat beside Lin Feng, watching it very carefully stand up. Lin Feng was a little embarrassed, because what he was about to do was a very ambiguous episode, and his male protagonist was going to overthrow one of the female protagonists. Lin Feng won't write too explicit, but the rendering of foreplay is essential, and the pure and beautiful Tian Qingzu is watching. How should he write? Should we delay this bridge? But the foreshadowing that should be done has been done, and if it continues to be delayed, there will be suspicion of irrigation. What Lin Feng was most afraid of was seeing someone in the book review area saying that he was pouring water. Fortunately, very few people published such book reviews. He quickly figured out how to size it, and if Tian Qingzu asked, he also thought about how to answer. Lin Feng continued to type on the keyboard quickly, and gradually, Tian Qingzu's face turned a little red. So ambiguous. The man is kissing the woman. The man is touching the woman. That woman actually used her mouth to give that man. The man and woman rolled onto the bed. Tian Qingzu's face flushed. Breathing is a little uneven, but fortunately this bridge is not long, and it will pass in a few minutes. Lin Feng didn't want to look at Tian Qingzu's face, but it seemed like a powerful force forced him to turn his head, and what he saw was a shy and beautiful face. Lin Feng said with a relieved smile, "Are you shy?" Tian Qingzu said that the plot you just wrote is a bit like that. Lin Feng said that in fact, this is something that men and women often do in their lives. The novel can't describe too much, but it can't be divorced from reality. Right? Tian Qingzu said, too. Being shy is shy, but Tian Qingzu has not been shy enough to deny the truth. How would life go on if men and women in real life didn't do that? Tian Qingzu had heard from many people before that more than 70% of the students of Beijing Normal University had done that kind of thing. Neither are married yet. But many have already been done. Men don't do it with their wives, and women don't do it with their husbands. Although I don't know what will happen to Leng Deng in the future, it is not clear whether the future of each other is on the same track, but Leng Deng is so ecstatic. Tian Qingzu has never done it with any man, and hardly thinks about that kind of thing, but Tian Qingzu has thought many times about what kind of person her future boyfriend will be. Tianqingzi prefers gentler men. Wearing glasses is not a sign of Sven, generally it is just a sign of poor eyesight, so her future boyfriend may not wear glasses. Linfeng didn't plan to stop, he hesitated for a moment, and finally opened the campus forum of Beijing Normal University. Tianqingzi wondered, "What are you doing with this?" Linfeng said, "Take a look and see if there are any posts about the two of us." Tianqingzi said, "I hope not. Not only are there, but there are many." Almost reaching the level of a screen tyrant, Linfeng's face was relatively calm, but Tianqingzi's face was flushed, and his heartbeat was fast. The campus gossip section was extremely lively, and the headlines came into view. The school flower beauty Bamboo finally put on a skirt. Take a guess. Who bought the high-end dress on the beautiful Bamboo? The best news is that Linfeng, the boyfriend of beautiful teacher Shang Yuna, is in love with her, and falls in love with the school flower beauty Zhu. The most beautiful female teacher is defeated by the most beautiful female student. The click-through rate and replies of each post are very high. At this time, Linfeng and Tianqingzi have only seen a lot of headlines, but haven't clicked in yet. Among them, what worries Linfeng the most is the gossip about Shang Yuna. He and Shang Yuna have already broken up, and he has nothing to do with Shang Yuna when he buys a dress for Tianqingzi. But Shang Yuna was lying down and was shot. Maybe Shang Yuna has seen these posts and looked more carefully than he and Tianqingzi. I wonder if Shang Yuna is already furious. Don't look, really don't open, I can't stand it anymore. The beauty Zhu started to cry. Linfeng wanted to open a few posts with a high number of hits to see what the text of the post was, who had left a message, and what was left. Hearing the cry of beauty Bamboo, Linfeng quickly closed the campus forum, lit a cigarette, and forced a smile. You cry too much, how many times have you cried for such a trivial matter?" Tianqingzi choked up and said, "Actually, I'm not a crybaby person, but the problem is, this is not a trivial matter at all. So many people misunderstood me and actually said that I was taken care of, so many people misunderstood the two of us, and actually said you are empathetic, you abandoned teacher Shang and chose me." Linfeng said that a foreign thinker once said that any rumors cannot stand scrutiny. There is also a saying in Huaxia Kingdom that the Qing dynasty is self-clearing, and what the facts are like, I will soon understand. There are many rumors now, but it will be a while. Time is nothing. If you're defeated here, then you're not a strong person. Are you not a strong person? Tianqingzi thought for a moment and said, "Brother Feng, I am very poor and I have never seen the world, but you have to believe that I am a strong person." Linfeng said, "Since you are a strong person, show it to me, don't make me despise you because of this turmoil." Tianqingzi said, "Look at it, I will face it calmly, others can say whatever they like, I am really not afraid." She regarded Linfeng as a good friend, she cared about Linfeng's opinion of her, and she didn't want Linfeng to despise her at all. Beauty Bamboo became sharper, and Linfeng breathed a sigh of relief. He knew that Beauty Bamboo was indeed strong, otherwise she would not be able to overcome the difficult conditions and be admitted to Beijing Normal University with super high marks. Tianqingzi's previous high school teaching quality was very poor, and the conditions were even worse. If it wasn't for her talent, she would never have achieved such a high score in the test, creating a miracle since the school was established. Although Tianqingzi's junior year was coming to an end and she was going to be a senior soon, the teachers in that high school always mentioned Tianqingzi and used her deeds to educate and encourage other students. But the beauty Zhu is a girl after all, and she has a fragile side in her heart. Linfeng only hopes that she will not shed too many tears because of this storm. Tianqingzi said, "I'm going to bed, you should rest early too." Linfeng smiled and nodded. Tianqingzi walked out to Dainan's partition room. Dainan hadn't fallen asleep, and was still thinking about what Tianqingzi had been doing in Linfeng's room for a long time. Are they hugging and chatting together? The beautiful Bamboo was in tears, and Lin Feng was comforting her in an ambiguous way. Do their two mouths meet? Has Lin Feng tasted the taste of Tian Qingzu's red lips? What Dinan cares more about is what Lin Feng got. Tian Qingzu walked in, Dinan smiled and said, "Come to bed quickly, it's time to go to bed, you have class tomorrow morning." Tian Qingzu looked like she was in tears, but her smile at this time had a relaxed taste. What spell did Lin Feng use to relax Tian Qingzu? Most of it was an ambiguous way. Every girl, whether hot or reserved, hopes to get the warmth from the opposite sex, especially when Tian Qingzu is helpless. Not excluded. Thinking like this, Dinan felt more and more that Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu were too entertaining. If Tian Qingzu had Lin Feng as a boyfriend in Beijing, he would be less likely to return to Kaohsiung town after graduation, which is very good. Morning. After having breakfast together, Dinan went to Fengnan fashion store. Yesterday's turnover exceeded 3,000, which made her extremely excited. At the same time, she also knew that the reason why the store's turnover reached such a high level was because she was wearing high-end clothes. The sensational effect caused by Tian Qingzu of the dress. I don't know how high the store's turnover can be today, but I hope it can be a little bit higher, even if it's not as high as yesterday, it shouldn't be too low. Since the first day of the store's opening, Dinan has linked her future development direction with the store, so she is very concerned about the store's business. Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu walked into the campus of Beijing Normal University together, and they appeared in pairs again, causing a strong sensation again. Lin Feng was more calm than yesterday, Tian Qingzu was mentally prepared in advance, and her performance was much better than yesterday. Look, the beautiful Bamboo and Lin Feng appear again. It's walking together again, the two of them are really hot, they came in from outside, it seems that they slept together last night. Lin Feng must be very cool, and doing that with the beautiful Bamboo must be very cool. This kid Lin Feng is really blessed. There are so many boys in our school who have chased after beauty Bamboo, but none of them succeeded. Even a little bit of tofu can't be eaten, but now beauty Bamboo belongs to Lin Feng. Today's speculation seems to be more extreme than yesterday, and the topic has been extended to the relationship between Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu. Because there are too many people talking, it is impossible for the two of them to have a clean ear. Tian Qingzu is so depressed, she wants to stand on the campus and shout, "What's the matter with you? What nonsense, nothing happened to Lin Feng and I'm not his girlfriend, he's not my boyfriend, and I didn't sleep with him last night." Lin Feng used her eyes to imply that she was calm. She could understand Lin Feng's eyes at this time, so she did not stop and shout in the direction of the most people. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi Feng. Chapter 251. Lin Feng stood outside the girls' dormitory building and watched Tian Qingzu walk in. He lit a cigarette and waited for Tian Qingzu to come down. He planned to send Tian Qingzu to the main teaching building before leaving. The reason why he did this was because he was afraid that Tian Qingzu would not be able to face it, and then he simply didn't even go to the class, but he also had the disadvantage of doing so, which was that it would lead to even more outrageous speculation. Now it seems that the situation is even worse than expected, but it is already like this. He can only do it according to the original plan. If there is a temporary change, there will be no benefit at all. Tian Qingzu came out, and she brought a book with her beauty and elegance, and she had a bookish air. The taste was even more wonderful. This is how the goddess in the minds of many men looks like. Lin Feng accompanied Tian Qingzu to the outside of the main teaching building. Tian Qingzu gave Lin Feng a green smile. Although her body was very mature, her smile just now was really green. Lin Feng also smiled at Tian Qingzu, and at that moment, he saw that Tian Qingzu's eyes were wet. Tian Qingzhu walked quickly into the main teaching building, and then Lin Feng walked towards the gate, as if someone had been following him, and when he looked back, he saw that it was Lu Miao who made him stunned in the girls' dormitory. That is to say, besides Tian Qingzhu, the most beautiful girl in Beijing Normal University. When Lin Feng was stupefied by Lu Miao, he found that her body was very good, and he let him release it to his heart's content, but Lin Feng still didn't have much affection for her. In Lin Feng's eyes, Lu Miao is just a girl who can make men comfortable. He doesn't think that Lu Miao, the second beauty of Beijing Normal University, has a high weight. Lin Feng glanced at Lu Miao and continued to walk in the direction of the gate. Lu Miao quickly ran a few steps to Lin Feng's side and smiled, although you are not from this school. But you have caused an unprecedented sensation. Beside you, feel a little joy. What Lu Miao said while laughing was a little shameless, but it was not hypocritical at all. She always wanted to cause a strong sensation. But she never did. At this time, Lin Feng was a powerful man, so she walked by Lin Feng's side and wanted to make herself a sensation. After walking out of the school gate, when there were fewer people around, Lin Feng said, "If you really want to make a splash, I have an idea for you. You can take off your clothes and run around the campus. If you want to make your own footsteps with more rhythm, I can even give you a password." Lu Miao said softly, "Lin Feng. You bastard." Lin Feng said, "Do you want me to be you in the girls' dormitory again?" Lu Miao chuckled and said, "Even if I thought about it, I'm afraid you wouldn't dare. If you have the courage to do this the first time, you may not have the courage to do it the second time." Lin Feng is not afraid to do it a second time. He felt that even if Lu Miao was stupefied in the girls' dormitory for the second time, there would be basically no bad consequences, but he didn't want to do that anymore. Lin Feng said, "How are you and Meng Jiwei doing?" Lu Miao sighed and said, "Don't mention it. After being hit twice by you, Jiwei is even more reluctant to pay attention to me. I saw him on the road last night and called him twice in a row, but he ignored me." Lin Feng said, "This doesn't seem to have much to do with me. He didn't take you seriously. He has been using you, your body, and your heart. There are many boys outside Beijing Normal University who like you, so you don't have to hang on a tree like Meng Jiwei." Lu Miao said, "Thank you for caring about me so much." Lin Feng said, "You misunderstood. I don't care about you at all, just chatted a few words, I left. Don't rush to leave, I still want to go to Fengnan fashion store to buy something. Go by yourself." "Oh." Lu Miao stomped her feet anxiously, but Lin Feng's footsteps were fast, and he was already far away. The reason why Lu Miao wanted to communicate with Lin Feng was because she was curious about the relationship between Lin Feng and Tian Qingzhu, and secondly, she wanted to do that with Lin Feng again. Lin Feng was much stronger than Meng Jiwei. When she was with Lin Feng, Lu Miao experienced a comfort she had never had before. Until now, the warm scenes at that time still reverberated in her mind, and that wonderful taste made her feel comfortable. Unforgettable. Lu Miao began to think, if she chased after her, after reaching Lin Feng's master bedroom, would Lin Feng be with her? When Lu Miao thought that Lin Feng might squeeze her so violently that she couldn't even walk, she dismissed the idea. Lin Feng brought her a happy taste. Lin Feng also brought her the taste of pain. Lu Miao sighed, making her steps a little hotter, and walked into the campus of Beijing Normal University. Lin Feng returned to his master bedroom, sat on the sofa and lit a cigarette, only to find that his body was very straight. He first stimulated Tian Qingzhu, and then Lu Miao stimulated it. These were two completely different kinds of stimulation, but they both made him stand tall. Leisurely blowing out a breath of smoke, Lin Feng planned to write more characters today. He turned on the computer and began to browse the pages of the book. The data of his novels are still improving rapidly, the current ranking is much higher, and the sales should be very good. but there was no news of the price increase. He saw that Wen Qing, the editor-in-chief of the Beauty, was not sick online, but was not even invisible. Lin Feng clicked on the dialog box, hesitated for a moment, and did not send her a message. If the company has decided to increase the price for him, then Wen Qing will notify him if he is not sick, and he does not need to ask. If he asks, he can't raise the price in the short term, then the thought in his heart will be shattered, but it will affect his mood of coding. At the same time, Lin Feng also thought of Yang Chunbeixiu, the person who had greatly helped him. After a series of previous exclusions, Lin Feng now believes that Yang Chunbeixiu is likely to be Bai Shan. Unfortunately, he can't contact Bai Shan now, and Bai Shan's previous mobile phone number and chat number seem to be no longer in use. If he can still have a certain connection with Bai Shan, the only possibility is that Bai Shan takes the initiative to contact him. He believed that Bai Shan had not forgotten his mobile phone number, and Bai Shan could easily find his chat number, but would Bai Shan still contact him? The previous story between him and Bai Shan was very complicated. Maybe Bai Shan wanted to completely abandon this complicated relationship from her life, so she planned to cut off contact with him. The mood was not very good. Thinking of this, Lin Feng's mind became even more chaotic. He reluctantly opened the document. I hope that the ideas that have been thought up are still there, so that he can code out a few thousand words this morning. Lin Feng started typing on the keyboard, but when he had less than 1,000 words in the code, there was a knock on the door. He got up and opened the door, and what he saw was Shang Yuna, a beautiful teacher in a short skirt, stockings, and high-heeled sandals. Lin Feng almost shouted out the baby. But now Shang Yuna is no longer his girlfriend, so she can't just call her baby. Lin Feng said with a smile, "Have you come to see me?" Shang Yuna said, "Yes, I came to see you, I think you are amazing. So come and see you." She walked in, and the aroma diffused into the room. "Sit down." Lin Feng went to make tea. Shang Yuna sat on the sofa, put her bag aside, her slender legs were tight, and on her wrist was the Omega Constellation Series automatic mechanical watch that Lin Feng had bought her from the World Trade Center. Shang Yuna glanced at Lin Feng's back. Her eyes quickly shifted to other places, but her delicate face was a little red. Lin Feng brewed tea and brought it over, and soon noticed the flushing on Shang Yuna's beautiful face. He was sure that it was flushing, and that flushing in women is usually associated with physical urges. But Lin Feng didn't think about those things for the time being. Shang Yuna was no longer his girlfriend, even if it was impulsive. She might not do that with him either. Shang Yuna is a very patient woman. Lin Feng said, "You came to me because Tian Qingzu was wearing a skirt?" Shang Yuna said, "Yes, I'm here for Tian Qingzu's business. There are many guest versions in the school. The sensation caused this time is too huge, but I know very well that the dress on Qingzu is yours. Bought for her. And you and she are just ordinary friends now. The reason why you bought her a dress is because you can't bear to see her wearing old clothes all the time." Lin Feng sighed and said with a smile, "You still understand me. As expected of someone who was my girlfriend." Shang Yuna said, "Don't come here. You don't need to mention the past between us. When I came here this time, there is one more thing I want to discuss with you. This matter is closely related to Qingzu's future. Go ahead." Although Qingzu hasn't been promoted to senior year, it is almost a certainty that she will stay in the school. It is estimated that when the new semester starts in the fall, the school leaders will talk to her. Some people have sharpened their heads and want to stay in school. Opportunity, such a good opportunity is in front of Qingzu, but the key problem is that she is very likely to refuse, because she has always wanted to go back to teach in Qiushan town in Shu province. It depends on your power. My power? Do you think I have such great power? I can't even keep you, do you think I can keep her? Why does it involve the two of us again? I've said it all, don't mention anything about the two of us before. Shang Yuna punched Lin Feng angrily, and then he hugged Shang Yuna into his arms. Taste soft. Taste the aroma. You let me go. You punched me just now, you have to let me hug me for 10 minutes. If you don't want me to eat your tofu, don't do it to me easily. Lin Feng smiled. You used to be a good person, why are you rascal again? I was wrong just now, didn't I? Let go of me, who am I to you, just hug me. Shang Yuna looked aggrieved, but it didn't help at all. Lin Feng still hugged her, and had no intention of letting go. Lin Feng thought that Shang Yuna would struggle frantically, and struggled until he couldn't hug him. But Shang Yuna didn't struggle very much. The towering chest heaved and calmed down for a moment. She said, "Do you like King Zhu?" Lin Feng said that this question makes it difficult for me to answer. In fact, my feelings for her are more like my brother's feelings for my sister. Shang Yuna sneered and said, "Hurry up and go to your brother and sister, are you related to her by blood?" Lin Feng said, "No." Shang Yuna said, "That's incredible. As for my brother and sister, even if you want to be nauseous, you have to be a little bit better. What you said just now is not as good as the plot you conceived. Hurry up and tell me, do you want King Zhu to be your girlfriend?" Lin Feng was silent. A few minutes later, Shang Yuna said, "Since you've been silent, you've really thought about it, but you're just too embarrassed to say it." Lin Feng said, "I am a person who has lost love twice, Shen Bingqian is once, you are the second time, don't torture me, okay? King Zhu and I are not the same way, it is almost impossible for me to chase after her." To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read.